Alright, welcome back everyone. So today's topic is going to be kind of interesting. So ARCHmaxxing versus SINKmaxxing, a brief comparison between common bench techniques. So here we go. ARCHmaxxing, what is it? It's basically when you get the maximum possible arch in the bench press. You'll typically have a soft touch at the bottom where you maintain tension throughout the entire lift. And you'll also be having static leg drive. So what this means is you're not going to be heaving the bar forwards and using your legs to sort of move the momentum of the bar towards the rack, which you would normally see in more of a dynamic sinking bar touch variation. In a ARCHmaxxed soft touch bench, you're usually going to be having your legs and glutes fully engaged throughout the entirety of the lift to maintain your huge arch that you're getting. And you can kind of see this in the image provided on the slide. Alright, so who can / should ARCHmaxx? Pretty much only powerlifters or people who really care about their bench. So, if you're a casual gym goer, this is totally unnecessary and probably counterproductive. Generally because these high arch bench variations limit range of motion and kind of result in a inferior hypertrophy exercise. And usually lighter lifters are more suited for this, generally because they actually can get into a high arch position because they lack a lot of upper back fat and muscle. And women, because they are generally smaller, also fall into this category. So you will see most women, especially non-super heavyweight women, they pretty much exclusively use this high arch form in competition. And it also suits people with a history of shoulder joint injuries, and that's because in a soft touch high arch bench, there's going to be tension throughout the entirety of the lift, and you're not going to be seeing large fluctuations in force throughout the lift, whereas you typically see that in a sinking bench press, where you lose some of the tension at the bottom of the lift, and you suddenly hit the trigger and blast the bar off your chest during the concentric phase, and that can result in higher velocity changes along the joints, and this can result in injury. So that helps with people with prior injuries. Okay, pros of ARCHmaxxing. So the main benefit is shorter ROM because you are bringing your chest closer to the start of the bench position. So this, it just shortens the lift basically. That's why many people would consider it cheating. It's probably safer, as I mentioned before, because you get lower peak force since you're not having as large of a tension change. And this might allow you to move more weight, especially if you're on the lighter side. It's worth trying it out on your own, though, because I have given this a shot. I ran a 12-week block earlier this year where I did a soft touch, and it really was not good for me. I was weaker generally, and I did not like it. So you can always give it a try and see how it works out for you. Another benefit is that you will typically be faster at lockout. So if you have a really strong chest, then your lockout will also be comparatively as good if you use a soft touch bench. So that is the end of that. So cons of ARCHmaxxing. This is when it gets fun. First of all, it just looks stupid, and people will tell you that. People online will bully you, as I have experienced in many before me. So you can give it a shot. You can ARCHmaxx and post a video of it on the internet, and you will very quickly see how many people think this way. And another con is you get a shallower pec angle because the range of motion is reduced, and this is basically results in a worse developmental movement. So you will have to supplement typically with more chest accessory volume, like with a dumbbell bench or an incline bench, or things like that. Just because you're not going to be getting as much pec development if you exclusively do this high arch bench. And a con is that it's slow off the chest, and this is bad kind of for confidence reasons. If the start of any movement, especially when you're going for like a 1 rep max, is very slow, this can make you question yourself mid-rep, which is not good. It's not great. So I'm more of an impatient lifter, and I appreciate the immediate velocity that I get at the start of my lifts. And it's something I've had to really struggle with, especially on deadlift, as I actually have moved towards a slower start because I'm getting a more flat back instead of my typical worm chad gigantic arch that allows me to blast off the floor so fast. So yeah, very important for confidence purposes. All right, SINKmaxxing, my favorite, and you'll notice we have some pictures of myself on this slide to demonstrate. So the bar sinks into your chest, and there is usually a faster descent and faster ascent. So I would imagine that you probably expend less energy on a sinking bench than you do in arched bench press. And you can look at the images on the right. So we have a before contact image and then an after contact image where you can see that there's about 1 to 2 inches of bar sink into my chest. And there will be reduced tension at the bottom of the lift. This is very useful for long pauses. As you might see in some powerlifting federations, they like to give you a long pause command. You know, they really withhold that press command. And if you are not having full tension at the bottom, this allows you to hold that position for much longer because you will be expending less energy. And so that can be useful. And also you use dynamic leg drive. So Julius Maddox, which I've no doubt we've probably shown him at some point in this video so far. But you will use your a dynamic leg drive. So at the bottom of the lift, you will usually push your legs towards the bench and sort of upwards in kind of a diagonal motion to try and get the bench, or try to move the bar towards the rack. And usually you can get a couple pounds out of this, helping propel it up. And this contrasts with the static leg drive that you would normally see in an ARCHmaxxing soft touch bench. Okay, who can / should SINKmaxx? So explosive fast twitch giga chads like myself and probably yours, my lovely viewer watching from home. I hope you share the same opinion here. Heavier lifters, usually above 200 pounds, you do need to have something to sink into, and this is probably why you don't see it very much in the lighter weight classes, just because you don't really get as much of a spring out of the bottom if you don't have a lot of chest girth to sink into. And you'll notice we have an image of David Wolfson. You know, you should probably check out his channel. He's a pro powerlifter. He offers a lot of bench advice, and he made a video sort of about the same topic a little while ago. And people with durable pecs and rotator cuffs are probably the ideal candidates for this, because you will be getting a little bit of front delt, rotator cuff, and kind of pec strain from this movement, just because of the tension fluctuations throughout the lift. Okay, pros of SINKmaxxing. It's going to be very fast off the chest. If you watch any of my bench videos, very fast off the chest, and then the lockout is kind of what struggles. Yeah, you get a deeper pec angle, which is the result of a reduced arch and added sinking. And you probably get better pec hypertrophy because of this, and you can sort of rely more on your typical competition bench volume. But obviously you still will have to supplement with accessory volume as well, just to complete, just to make your program more full and ensure that you actually are getting lots of pec stimulation. And as I mentioned earlier, it's way easier to hold a long pause in competition because of the reduced bottom end tension. And of course, less internet bullying, which is what we all need, really. I guess it's what I need. Okay, so cons of SINKmaxxing. So you get higher peak force. And yeah, this change in bar velocity is much faster than the soft touch bench, where you typically see a controlled descent and then a slower off the chest concentric anyways. And so the velocity change is not nearly as high as in a sinking bench, where the descent is very fast and the concentric is also very fast. And so this can result in injuries. Yeah, the drastic change in tension is basically what causes this. And it's just slow at lockout. So if you watch my 385 bench video, very, very slow lockout. Yeah, okay, all right, let's see here. So is there any middle ground? So for those of you wondering, you know, bench form is a large spectrum. It's not a pure dichotomy. There's going to be people that, you know, they range from high arch to low arch and soft touch to sinking touch. And it's going to be different for different people depending on their specific anatomies. And it's really important that you yourself, you experiment with different arch heights in the soft and sinking touch bench. You're not going to be able to just copy the exact form of your favorite strongest powerlifter, because that will probably not work out in most cases. You're most likely built in a different way, and a low to moderate arch and a softer touch will probably be appropriate for most casual lifters, especially ones that are trying to get lots of chest stimulation. You're not going to want a really high arch for that reason, and a soft touch maintaining tension throughout the entire lift is probably better for hypertrophy anyways. And here's a personal advertisement. So you want to get huge and strong for 2025. If especially if you're concerned about your bench, I have lots of experience with bench programming, and you can contact me at soulandgrovertraining@gmail.com. And you can just send me an email there, and we can talk about specifics, and I can ask you some questions about your training history, and we can talk about maybe making a customized program or starting some coaching. And I offer individually customized programming, form checks, and valuable training advice. So I highly recommend give it a look. Those that have worked with me have made lots of progress and have enjoyed their time with me. And thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe. If you made it this far in the video, you're awesome. I love you. Leave a comment, like the video. Give me some advice on what I should work on or topics you want to see, and I will see you in the next one. See you later.